Happy day, children. This is Class 6 Social and Political Life, Chapter 1 Understanding Diversity, Part 1. In this lesson, we are going to learn about diversity, explaining about diversity, and you will learn about two different religions and you will learn a short story. Quite interesting, right? So, first we will understand what is diversity. It's a new term for you, right? So diversity is nothing but understanding that each individual, as you see in this picture, each individual is unique, right? They are different and each individual has their own character. They belong to different race, gender and economic status, physical features, religion, political beliefs, everything is different. So that is the reason they are called as diverse culture. Okay, they have a diverse culture. So how about diversity in India? So India, as we all know, we have several states. People belong to different regions, different religions. They eat various types of food, and we have different festivals. We have different languages, right? So diversity is so important in India, but we still celebrate the differences among people. Yes? So when you explain about diversity in real context, it's not only the differences among people, it also differences among the history. The history of each and every region in our country is different. So before going to a story, I just want to tell you children, in your class there are many students, right? You have many friends. So are they all same? No, right? Each and every individual in our class itself, they are all different. So when I tell you to draw any picture, do you think all of you will draw the same picture? No, right? So this difference is called as diversity. So diversity in a class. So now I'm going to read you a short story. So sit back and relax. So do you think children it will be very easy for you to make friends with someone very different from you? It's possible. Yes or no? Yes. So now I'll read you a story. I had meant it as a joke made up for a small ragged boy who sold newspapers at the Janpat crossing at the busy intersection. Every time I cycled past, he would run after me, holding out the English paper and screaming out the evening's headlines in a mixture of Hindi and English words. This time I stopped by the pavement and asked for the Hindi paper. His mouth fell open. You mean you know Hindi? He asked. Of course, I said as I paid for the paper. Why? What did you think? He passed. But you look so Angrez, he said. You mean you can even read Hindi? Of course I can, I said, this time a little impatiently. I can speak, read, and write Hindi. Hindi is one of the subjects I study in school. Subjects, he asked. How could I explain what a subject was to someone who had never been to school? Well, it is something, I began, but the lights changed and the honking behind me grew a hundredfold, and I let myself be pushed along with the rest of the traffic. The next day he was there again, smiling at me and holding out a Hindi paper. Bhaiya, he said, आपका अखबार अब बताइए ये सब्जेक्ट क्या चीज है? The English subject, the English word sounded strange on his tongue. It sounded like its other meaning in English, to be ruled by someone else. Oh, it's just something to study, I said. And then Because of the red light had come on, I asked him, "Have you ever been to school?" "Never," he answered. And he added proudly, "I began working when I was so high." He measured himself against my cycle seat. "First, my mother used to come with me, but I can do it all alone." "Where is your mother now?" I asked. But when the lights changed and I was off, I heard him yell from somewhere behind me, "She is in Meerut with—" The rest was drowned out. "My name is Samir," he said the next day, and very shyly he asked, "What's yours?" It was incredible. My cycle wobbled. "My name is Samir too," I said. "What?" His eyes lit up. "Yes," I grinned at him. "It's another name for Hanuman's father, you know." "So now you are Samir Ek and I am Samir Do," he said triumphantly. "Something like that," I answered. And then I held out of my hand, "Hath milao, Samir Do." His hand nestled in mine like a little bird. I could still feel its warmth as I cycled away. The next day, he did not have his usual smile for me. "There is trouble in Meerut," he said. "Many people are being killed there in the riots." I looked at the headlines. "Communal riots." "It's blast." "But Samir," I began. "I am a Muslim, Samir," he said in answer. "And all my people are in Meerut." His eyes filled with tears, and when I touched his shoulder, he could not look up. He was not at the crossing the next day after, neither the day after nor ever again. And no newspaper in English or Hindi can tell me where my Samir Do has gone. While Samir Ek is more familiar with English, Samir Do speaks Hindi. Although they both are more at home in different languages, they still communicated with each other. They made the effort to do so because this was what was important to them. Samir Ek and Samir Do also come from different religious and cultural backgrounds. While Samir Ek is a Hindu, Samir Do is a Muslim. Different religious and cultural backgrounds, such as these, are an aspect of diversity. So, children, can you tell any three ways in which Samir Ek and Samir Do were different? Yes, first thing, they are different in religion, they come from a different background. Samir Ek went to school, whereas Samir, though he did not attend school, instead he started working at a very young age. Right? So, did these differences prevent them from becoming friends, children? No, it's not, right? Because they still communicated with each other, they tried to become friends, right? Yes or no? So, children, can you name a list of festivals that might have been celebrated by the two boys? Because, as we all know, Samir, though he is a Muslim, whereas Samir Ek, he is a Hindu. So, you can list out the Hindu festivals and Muslim festivals. So, can you think of the same situation in which you made friends with someone who was very different from you? You can write a short story describing your experience, right? Yes. I'm waiting to see your story. So, why do you think Samir though did not attend school? Do you think it would have been easy for him to attend school if we wanted to? Yes, you can share your thoughts and you can tell me in the class. Okay. So differences in means of inequality, caste system, they are irreversible. So, inequality, as I told you, people who are not treated equally like that of others. So, that is called as inequality. So, when you see the differences in terms of inequality, for example, in terms of caste system, it cannot be bad. They are irreversible. So, that differences we should not see in the society. Okay. So, next. What does diversity add to our lives? So just like Samir Ek and Samir Do became friends, you might also have friends who are very different from you, right? So here you have probably eaten different kinds of food in their homes and celebrated different festivals, and you would have also learned some of the languages as well, right? So you probably write like reading and hearing stories, and perhaps you even enjoyed making up stories together, right? So many young people feel happy when they read a good story because it gives them lot of ideas to make up more stories. So many people who come from a different background, they write different types of stories. It's not the same monotonous type. They write different stories, and some write stories depend on their real life, and some write about their imagination, and some may have lived in forests which are very close to animals and chose to write of their fights and friendships. So others read real accounts of kings and queens, and they also write stories about honor, right? So some they used to write their childhood memories of schools and friends. Yes. So this difference of people who have different ideas, who are different in many aspects. So that is called as diversity. But do you think, children, diversity gives us that uniqueness? So it makes us remember that each and every individual is unique. Okay, so we need to celebrate the diversity. So next, I'm going to explain you about two different region in our country. One is Kerala, which is in the southern part of our country. So next one is Ladakh. So these two places are completely different in terms of geographical factors as well as historic factors. So what is called as geographical factors? Geographical factors means the physical nature, the physical features of Ladakh is completely different from that of Kerala, because Kerala is a coastal place in the southern part of our country. It is located in the western coast of India, South India, and Ladakh, if you take, it is located in the northern part of the country. It is located amidst the mountainous region. Okay, so these two regions are completely different in terms of food and types of clothes they wear, and in terms of occupation also. So here I have given few examples of food items which people eat in Kerala. They are coconut rice and tapoika. And here in Ladakh, if you take, since it is a very cold region, they used to eat drink lot of soups made up of vegetables, and also they used to have local bread which is called as pava, and the soup is called as thakpa. And the type of clothes they wear is also completely different. In Kerala, they wear kaili or lungi. The other name is Kali Mundu. It's worn by both men and women, whereas here people wear thick woolen robe called gaucha, because the climate is, since it is very cold, it is completely covered with snow throughout the year. So they wear thick woolen cloths that is called as gaucha, whereas gaucha is owned by men, whereas women wear a similar type of woolen cloths that is called as kunta. So now what about the occupation in Kerala? It is fishing and farming. So fishing, obviously, since it is near the coastal place, fishing is very common in this region. Whereas farming also, you have a few agricultural lands where you can find the soil is very fertile. So farming is also equally important occupation of the people of Kerala. So they grow rice in large quantity, also few spices like pepper, cloves, and cardamoms. And here, if you take, the main occupation is here is also agriculture as well as animal rearing. So here we have some more information about Ladakh and Kerala. So in Ladakh, they used to eat lot of meat and milk products like cheese and butter because they need to withstand the cold weather there, right? So that is the reason why they eat lot of milk products and meat. And the major religion followed in Ladakh is Buddhism religion as well as Muslim. Okay, so these are the two main religion you can find in Ladakh. So this place is also called as Little Tibet because people migrated from Tibet many years ago, and that is a reason why it is called as a Little Tibet. Okay, so people in this region they used to sing lot of traditional songs and poems. So one of the Tibetan national epic. So like we have national epic, right? Many stories. So like that, Ramayana and Mahabharata. So similar way in Tibet they have a national epic called the Kesar Saga. So it was sung by both Muslims as well as Buddhist. So here if you take, this is a region of Ladakh, so you can find the winter, so how snow is covered almost throughout the place, throughout the region, right? So some places here and there, they have few lights in the houses, so otherwise it is completely covered with snow. So down the below picture you can find the sheep, which is covered with a fur, thick fur. So this fur they used to take out and they use it for making shawls and sweaters also. Okay, and this pashmina goat, it is very famous, and the shawl which is made up of this wool, it is called as pashmina wool. Okay, so here very little agriculture only performed in this region. Okay, because it is completely covered with snow. So we can call Ladakh as a cold desert. So here you can find amazing pictures of both the region. See how different is it, how diverse is these two region, right? So Kerala, these are the food items you can see in Kerala. Okay, so like fish, you have this banana and puttu. So this is made up of rice flour, and here this is a dress, traditional costume of Kerala people, and here they are doing fishing as well as farming. Whereas if you take in Ladakh, they have this bread. This is a traditional bread pava, and takpa. I told you it is a soup, vegetable soup, and also stew. So this is made up of some corns. So the traditional dress of people of Ladakh is of men, especially it is gaucha, and women is kontop. It is covered fully since it is very cold in this region, and you can find very little agricultural is performed here, as well as these people, Ladakh people, they do animal rearing. So here, as I told you, the national epic, the Kesar Saga, it is the national epic which is performed by both Muslims and Buddhist. So thank you, children. In next video, we will see more about diversity of in Kerala and some more information about the diversity. Okay, unity in diversity we'll discuss. Okay, thank you, children.